Another Italian priest excommunicated for denying Francis as Pope. Father Natale Santonocito has joined the ranks of other priests punished for doubting that Francis is Pope. They include Father Giorgio Maria Fare, Father Friar Fernando Cornet, and Archbishop Carlo Maria Vigano. Father Natale Santonocito has been mercifully excommunicated just for telling the truth, namely that Bergoglio is not the legitimate pope, but an anti-pope because of the clearly documented impedancy of Benedict XVI. In Italy, there has been a carnage among priests to offer themselves to the sacrifice of being excommunicated or reduced to the lay state, so that they may pierce the mafia-like wall of silence that dominates the mainstream. In 2024, before Friar Santonocito's punishment, it was the turn of the esteemed Carmelite theologian Father Giorgio Maria Fare. It was preceded by Friar Fernando Cornet, the author of the volume Habemus Antipapam. Both these priests had argued in writings that there is a Bergoglio anti-papacy. All the priests were sanctioned without being challenged on the merits of the issue. On December the 8th, Friar Natale, a 61-year-old priest from the Diocese of Palestina near Rome, posted on his social channel a rather succinct statement aiming more at the ease of conveying the message by listing a few objective truths. In just 12 minutes, Father Natale outlined the main canonical reasons concerning the non-abdication of Benedict XVI and the consequent invalidity of Francis' election. After talking about the patent falsifications made both in the original Latin version, don't forget they changed commissum into commisso, and in foreign languages, in German, the Munus Amt swapped places with the Ministerium Dienst. Friar Natale dealt with the substantive error, Pope Benedict's failure to renounce the Munus, specifying that Bergoglio heresies are just an obvious consequence of both not being the legitimate pope and not having the Petrine Munus, the divine investiture that assures the Vicar of Christ of the special assistance of the Holy Spirit. Could someone please make Bishop Strickland understand this? Benedict XVI, with that famous resignation of February 11, 2013, had retraced the footsteps of him whose vicar he was. With his declaratio, Benedict said, "Some of you will betray me." Then Cardinal Sodano also gave the famous kiss at the end of the declaration. Benedict was dethroned, confined, and exiled, as stated in Canon 412, on the totally impeded see. He decided to call himself Pope Emeritus, an entirely new formula for which we have also given an explanation through pictures. It is nothing more than a euphemism for impeded pope. Bishop Ganswein, whom Benedict placed under the seal of papal secrecy, as he himself admitted during a conference in Sabbioneta, has been trying for years to make us understand in every way the reality, as in this famous speech at Lunza University. Recently, we published here on LiveSet News the document that explains how the declaratio was actually a decisio, a juridical decree that can be issued by the Pope for the most serious crimes against the faith. With that judgment, Benedict XVI excommunicated and put into schism the handful of cardinals responsible for the misdeed, that is, the authors of the 2013 coup d'etat, including Bergoglio. A petition signed by 1,852 faithful was delivered to Bishop Parmigiani so that he would withdraw the suspension ad hoc imposed on Father Natale immediately after his public statement. The signatories demanded that either the priest be challenged on the merits of the allegations or that the sanction against him be lifted. Instead, Parmigiani proceeded brutally and punished Father Natale by misapplying canon laws number 751 and number 1364, which excommunicate those who refuse to submit to the Supreme Pontiff. However, Bergoglio is not the Supreme Pontiff, as is evident from the combination of the Articles 76 and 77 of the Apostolic Constitution Universi Dominici Gregis. If Pope Benedict's renunciation was not made in compliance with Canon 332.2, the subsequent election was null and void without any intervening declaration in this regard. However, a copy of the petition to Bishop Parmigiani had been sent, along with the others, to the Secretary of State and the returned receipt of the document sent to Cardinal Pietro Parolin has been received. Now, those in the Secretary of State can no longer say they don't know the truth. The next legitimate pope will one day also deal with Bishop Parmigiani, who excommunicated a priest martyr who told the truth to defend the church. The situation is terrible. The canonical reality is explosively obvious. It could take only a couple of minutes to have the anti-pope arrested, according to Canon 1375, usurpation of ecclesiastical office. And yet the truth is being kept under wraps, not only by Bergoglians, but also by traditionalist hierarchies who prefer to speak of heretical Pope Francis, horribly offending the Holy Spirit, than to break the bank and purify the church for good, as Pope Benedict envisioned. This is the typical vice of the clerical church that always tried to avoid scandal at all costs. We have seen with the sexual abuse cases how useful the strategy of truncate and soothe and truncate can be. Still, some cardinals are beginning to understand. Cardinal Robert Sarra, to whom we sent a 5,000 signature petition a few weeks ago, responded in a recent interview to the arrogant question of the journalist Riccardo Cascioli of what he would reply to those emotionalists who say that there is no pope, in an interesting way. Cardinal Sarra used a complex system of periphrases precisely to avoid saying that there is a pope and he is Francis. He did not even mention him. Instead, he called for remaining united with the church, which is what we who want to get rid of the usurping anti-pope by following the norms of canon law do. We witnessed something different with Cardinal Raymond Burke, whose secretary deleted the study on the decision without even reading it. Yet his petition was also sent to the Secretary of State. Meanwhile, while the pre-2013 cardinals hesitate to fulfill their duty, the one enshrined in Article 3 of the Universi Medici Gregis, like the duty to enforce at all costs the rights of the Apostolic See, on the battlefield of these latest eschatological anti-papal war, these brave little priests continue to fall as cannon fodder doing their duty by giving their lives for their flock of souls.